take some time this week to catch up with your loved ones. Tell them you love them. Tell them you appreciate them because you just never know who needs it and you just never know what circumstances people are going through.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good morning, Joey Price. Previously, episode 1300 of the 12-Minute Convos podcast. It's been just 2 years, 3 months, 14 days, 1 hour, and 30 minutes since we last recorded that conversation. That was then. This is now. Joey, how are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing better than I deserve. Life is pretty good.
Is that a Dave Ramsey thing, Joey?
It is, yes.
Sweet.
Yes, well, I guess not. How did you know? He's worldwide, but yeah, I took that from Dave because it's true. You know, I try to practice gratitude, and that's just a simple way to state it. So
That's super cool.
better than I deserve.
Yeah. I have a picture up with Dave here. When I attended Entre Leadership, my wife attended Financial Coach Master Series with me after that. But yeah, amazing guy. Definitely part and parcel of why I can podcast today, right? Just applying his principles. That's really cool. Now, the last time we spoke about business, life, and coffee, right? The podcast. We talked about Jumpstart HR and how you combine what you do there on the podcast. Of course, the bass getter came into the conversation as well. And what else was there? You're married, right? So
Yes.
Are you still married?
Still married.
Wonderful.
We have a little beautiful baby girl.
Wow! You didn't have any children when we spoke.
No.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
What about the podcast? What's going on there?
Oh, podcast is going well. I went ahead and moved to, still have audio, but doing more video segments as well. Seeing that a lot of engagement on social media is through video. And I said, why not try to duplicate my efforts? So do one podcast, record it in audio, record it in video, put it out, and then just have content for social media and YouTube. And then also, we are in 12 U.S. cities on terrestrial radio.
Sweet.
So, yeah. So if you're listening to this and you want to connect with the Business Life and Coffee show, I call it a show now as opposed to a podcast. But it's businesslifeandcoffee.com. You can see all the fun things happening. And yeah, it's going good.
That's great. Congratulations on that. So, I mean, looking back from the time we spoke, right, to now, how does it make you feel to see what has been accomplished?
Well, first of all, it's just an honor to even have a podcast and to continue to keep going. So many people will hear how many episodes I have. And obviously with you, with over 1,000 plus episodes, there's something to be said for someone and something that is so committed. So the dedication is just mind-blowing. The stories that I hear of people who listen to the show and are impacted, people who I may never meet in person, but just knowing that the content is helping them live out their day-to-day life, that's been great. My next venture is sort of the live show to kind of create more community across the country and bringing the show to a different area and have speakers, sponsors, folks that like entrepreneurship and want to be a part of the Business Life and Coffee conversation. And so I'm just mapping through like how that might add value to a person in, for example, San Francisco. Like, why would someone from San Francisco want to come to a Business Life and Coffee podcast, live podcast? So just kind of like thinking through those sorts of things. But I'm just excited that I have something else that I can say I've been committed to over the past, I guess, 4 years or so it's been since doing it.
Wow. How have things affected your wife? Because we understand that influence is something that occurs, right? And you've been dedicated to this art form. How has she been impacted?
Well, she listens to the episodes from time to time. She's not in the entrepreneur space, so it doesn't as much have relevant impact in what she does. She'll tell me from time to time, like, hey, I thought this was pretty cool, or yada, yada, yada. So it's impacted her as in the sense that she knows that I'm passionate about it. So she tries to listen when she can. And I guess it's impacted her because she she sees my commitment in something, and she has found some things that she's committed to as well. So we just try to keep each other accountable to the goals that we have, and podcasting is one of them. So it's a commitment thing. I think is the biggest ripple effect. And then she gets some of the merch. She likes wearing the merch that we have now. So that's always fun.
When we last spoke, you said fun, creativity while completing goals. But there's something else that you added, which is really cool to listen to and to see that you are doing it actually, is logically plan a podcast, but creatively add content. You've done that though, Joey. Like you did the podcast and you've used that creativity side of you, that gift, right, to do what's necessary to add content. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's accurate. I don't hate tooting my own horn. I feel like it's cool to get accolades and awareness from other people of what you're doing. But know that that is the goal, and that's what I try to do week after week is have conversations that add value to people's lives. And so if I were to even quantify how much is out there, how much content is out there, if every episode is anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes a week, that's at least like 26 hours of content that's out there per year. And so just to think of speaking that long, but no, it's great. There is content, there is a message, there is inspiration, there is strategy, there is vulnerability, transparency, just everything you would want from a conversation with an entrepreneur. That's kind of like a virtual mentorship kind of conversation.
Now, what's going on at Jumpstart HR?
Jumpstart is good. We are continuing to grow our clientele of small businesses and startups across the US. It's the beginning of the year when we're recording this episode. So a lot of our attention is on finishing up projects for employee handbooks. When new laws come in place, companies need help with writing those policies. And so we've got a few of those projects. There's some pretty exciting groups that we might have an opportunity to work with this year. One being a pretty good nonprofit that advocates for a cause that I truly believe in. And then another group that's in food justice, for lack of a better word. And so those are two sort of proposals that are out in the open now. But every day, just trying to, eat what you kill from an entrepreneurship standpoint and do some good in the world.
There's a voice that we are able to discern if we listen. That voice that urges you on to do something or not do something. How do you fine tune your listening to that voice, Joey?
That's interesting because I was having a conversation with a gentleman this morning at breakfast, and I tune in to that voice by hearing for the things that I need to say no to. Because when I'm able to clear my plate, clear my mind, clear my focus, and eliminate distractions, and those things could be great, they could be noble, they could be beneficial in some capacity, but if they're not my truest yes or my best yes, I really will have to compete to hear that voice again. Because it's clouded with so much other stuff. So the way I tune in is just try to shed layers of distraction that make it harder for me to hear that voice.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Time, it seems, as you get older, and I'm not sure, you can tell me if this is accurate, but that understanding that we could die today or tomorrow gives us a container in which to go forward in. Is that something that's in the forefront of your mind or in the back end, that it is possible that you could die today or tomorrow?
Yeah, it is. So we're recording this the day after Kobe Bryant passed away in a helicopter at the age of 41 with his child and 6 other people. And that just made it all the more real to me as a husband, as a father, that your life is not promised. The way that you leave this earth is not entirely within your control, or you just don't know. And so with Kobe Bryant's passing, it just solidified for me all the more that definitely spend time with loved ones, live a purposeful life, stay honed in on your truest yes, because at the end of the day, there was a quote that said, legacy is not what you leave for people, legacy is what you leave in people. And I want to leave in people good memories, positive impact, inspiration, motivation, and just reminders of a life well lived, however long or short the Lord allows me to be on this earth. So it's very much top of mind, especially right now with the untimely passing
Yeah.
of a legend, an international legend, and his child.
To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift. That was something you left us with, and it was so powerful back then, and I believe still today, right? And this recording, that is what Kobe Bryant did, and what we all, I believe, aspiring to do at the same time, right? To ensure that we're not sacrificing the gift. Joey, to call and to hear that you've not given up, to hear that you've continued on your path is both motivational and inspirational. Well done. Everything that you're learning, you could have kept it. You did not have to hit publish, right? You could have said, ooh, this is good. I'm keeping this. Nevertheless, you've decided to serve humanity. So I want to say thank you for your service. In closing, Joey, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Well, I just want to thank you for having me on the show and for being a repeat guest. That does mean a lot. That means you liked something I said the last time. So hopefully this adds value to your audience as well. I would also add, find me on social media if you want to learn more about entrepreneurship, inspiration, motivation, and life behind the scenes with my beautiful wife and daughter. And that's just Joey V. Price, HR. And really just take some time this week to catch up with your loved ones. Tell them you love them. Tell them you appreciate them, because you just never know who needs it, and you just never know what circumstances people are going through. So invest in yourselves and invest in the lives of others this week would be my final thoughts.
Amazing audience. Again, Joey Price. You can check him out at jumpstart-hr.com as well, or Business Life and Coffee Show, right? Joey Price, a pleasure I treasure. Thank you for being on What Is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.